creatine necessary when doing muscle building? Can high protein intake do it all?
Just because if you're not training and you're in a deficit, you're running into a negative of shutting your body down.
Do you think there is an overuse of the term overtraining and an underuse of the term under recovery?
I think somebody says, are you in a calorie surplus while you're trying to rehab and recover?
I would say yes, but not too much of a surplus. You know, somewhere around 200 additional calories, and depending on where they come from. For me, that's probably all I would need, but it's not like a huge surplus where I'm going, oh, okay, an extra 500 to 1,000 calories. Nothing like that at all. Don't let the word surplus fool you into thinking that you have to go far above and beyond where you should be. A surplus can be as little as 50 additional calories.
Yeah, but we both agree that to recover, you should be.
Yeah,
you should be eating in the sense of you should be in a surplus instead of a deficit. And for a lot of you guys, just FYI too, if you're not training, you still should be in a surplus of whatever that would be when you're not training. And meaning, if you're taking 2 weeks off, I would stay in a surplus of whatever your burns are. Just because if you're not training and you're in a deficit, you're running into a negative of shutting your body down. But that goes into what we talk about as we, pyramid through a nutrition plan as you're getting slight.
Is creatine necessary when doing muscle building? Can high protein intake do it all? So, is it necessary? Well, there's two ways to answer this.
Question is creatine necessary when you're trying to build muscle? Or can high protein just take care of everything?
First question, there's two ways to answer this. Number one, your body is already going to produce creatine when you're building muscle. So intuitively, the answer is yes. But what you're probably asking is more like, is taking a creatine supplement necessary? It's not necessary, but it'll help. Simple. Can high protein intake do it all? I wouldn't say it can do it all, but it's a great foundation.
And my point of view on it is that it is tough to build muscle. And if you guys don't think it is, all right, cool deal. It is tough to build muscle. And so if there's glutamine, if vitamin C will help you stay healthy so you can train and recover, if vitamin B can help you have more energy to get a workout in, if creatine will help you put on 1 pound on the bench press, all of that I would do, because of the fact that it is so hard to build muscle as is. And so I wouldn't chalk it up. And I always say to you guys, nutrition is first and foremost. Everything else might be 1%, but 1% changes first from second. And so I will always add in the glutamine, the amino acids, the creatine. And this is something you guys have to answer for yourself. If you can financially do the supplementation, then do what you can. If you can't, then again, Mona has a great term. You can only stretch the blanket as big as the blanket is. It's a European term. So it's kind of like the person goes, I'm going to buy your Lamborghini. Well, you can't afford it, so stop. And that's the point here. If you can afford it, I would do the vitamins. I would do the hyperbaric chamber. I would do the pool swimming and recovery, the hot tub. I would do the massage. I would do the electric stim. Yeah, it's whatever you can do to continue to build muscle and recover. But if you want us to say, I guess this one, if you want us to say nutrition alone is good enough, don't worry about nothing else, that's a mindset thing. There's always, everything could add a little bit, and that was Doc's point. It could add a little bit. All of it can help.
Do you think there is an overuse of the term overtraining and an underuse of the term under recovery? I can see that. A lot of people think that anytime you just have swelling, inflammation, anything, especially now with a lot of these social media personalities, anything that you're just feeling any type of discomfort, oh, then that means you just overtrained. No,
Wow.
you have to go through
You are
some
toxic.
discomfort in order to progress. That's
I'm sorry,
life.
guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't know you'd be this toxic this morning.
It happens. But yeah, I would say there probably is an underuse of the term under recovery. Recovery is something that you don't see enough people stress as much as they probably should. And yeah, Brian brings up a good point. There's probably too many people emphasizing overtraining rather than talking about not getting enough recovery.
Brian's a good one for you guys to go follow. He was on stage as a young prepubescent kid. Also, his I think it is his uncle is the chairman for the IFBB over in Ireland. But his point is pretty basic, and I agree with it. Is you've got to recover. And as a young kid, I had an ego to where I could train harder than anybody and be better than anybody because of how heavy I could train and stuff. And that has no bearing on anybody. And it's this most ridiculous thought pattern to think that my ability to train like a beast is better than others. It's not. You can only train as well as you can train. It doesn't matter that you train harder than somebody else, because somebody else could probably train at 60% and get better results than you training at 100%. It just, everybody's so different. It's a young man's mentality, and I had that mentality, and it took a while to get rid of that mentality until I realized you can only train as well as you recover.
Yep.
That's it. That terminology right there will set you up to win in life. You can only train as well as you recover. If you're not recovering, you can't train. And that comes with food, proper sleep, and a decrease in stress, taking your vitamins, being mentally stable, which most of us are not anymore. So it's all that kind of stuff into play. Hopefully that answered the question. But Brian, great point.
How do you guys not lose your drive if you are not surrounded by people who enjoy lifting and eating right?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me because I don't go around people like that. So not sure how to answer that one.
Think about that. Our lives are set different.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, I set my life up that I only have, regardless of what their careers are, very hungry humans at my tables. And I have the privilege of being able to do that because I've set my life this way. Doc does not as much, because he has a serious, real job, and I don't know how you do it, man. It's just, I don't know how you compartmentalize. And he works in the real world with real things, helping society in a much better way than I ever did. So I believe there's a great quote that says, "With purpose eliminates friends." And what that, I guess, to me means is when you have your full purpose, you don't need friends. It's nice to have friends. Obviously, we all need friends. We all want friends. But at the end of the day, if you got full purpose on what you're believing in, you don't need the individuals around you. And when I was that young kid that moved from Seattle to California, very lonely place, but I never lost the desire or the purpose I had. So I didn't need the buddies to hang out with and stuff. I had my drive on the training. And PJ, that's a tough thing to do, and it's a very lonely road, I guess you would say, too.
Yeah.